All right, I am Dr. Zombrain, also known as Seth, with my co-host,
Your mother.
Huh?
I'm your mother.
Hey, look at
Did
the
you
bright
not know
side.
this?
It didn't record you, so that means it's not broken. And this is...
Yeah, you still remember how to do this. This is Nerd Rant, guys.
Welcome back. It's been a while since we've been in the studio live.
Indeed it has.
Yes.
It has been quite a moment.
We're coming back pretty dang hard. We got a pretty interesting and intense topic today.
That's it? Pretty interesting? That's all you got?
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it is
Wow.
interesting, and I feel like it's pretty
so
pretty.
excited about it.
I am. It's just college is alive this semester, and I'm tired. Also, I'm really thirsty, and I was not going to spend $3 on a small bottle of water.
That's probably fair, you know.
So
I don't think I would have done that either.
So now I just want to get home and drink some milk before the Kid Leroy concert. But that's for a different episode.
Yeah.
All right. So today is... What are we talking about? I forgot. I'm kidding,
We're talking about artificial intelligence.
Now, here's the question. Normally we have like a pretty solid idea of like when we think of it, we kind of know the title, right? Like, you know, Fortnite's kind of trash right now, but I don't know what the episode title is going to be because we don't really have an opinion. We're just going to talk about artificial intelligence because there's a lot of different types, from cars to robots to the Twitter algorithm. You know, it's a big thing. It's, you know, that's some pretty basic stuff, you know, just artificial intelligence like Grammarly, right? That's artificial intelligence.
I mean, technically, yeah.
But there's also artificial intelligence like art, and should that be allowed in competitions? That's going to be for a different topic of the episode. We'll get to there later. But
we'll work our way there.
JJ, what do you want to start with? Because I have a few thoughts. I've been watching a lot of TED Talks and some different articles, and I have this really crazy fact that I want to say later.
You've been watching TED Talks, bro?
For the past, 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't even know that. I don't think I've seen a single TED Talk in my life.
Well, my school used to do them a lot, and then I needed to do a speech, and I figured I'd do a TED Talk, and then I realized that'd be really hard. And I did it anyway, but a lot of them were really complicated. One of them was actually to understand the human brain was to use insects. Because, well, think about like if we try to undo the human mind, that's like billions of neurons. An insect is only millions. Now, that's still really complicated, but when you compare it to a human brain, it's a lot more simpler when you're trying to understand the basics of the human brain. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about computer brains. Did you watch the video I sent you?
I did. I was very confused when you sent me a Schoolhouse Rock video.
We're going to start with that. Schoolhouse Rock. Great, you know, just basic education. 3 is a magic number. I'm just a bill. But apparently, there was a 4-part episode on computers that was never actually officially aired. The first one of that small 4-part, the voice of, I think it was the human, found a VHS, and it never aired. But it's kind of interesting to see where it comes from, and I thought that one was really interesting compared to what we're going to talk about today. So pretty much it's talking about, yeah, I'm soulless, I don't have a brain, I don't have a heart. And I just feel like that's kind of interesting when we compare to what AI is and what it's capable of, you know, like Replica. You can't speak.
Yeah.
You know, that dating person.
Yeah.
Like, compared that to that video, I'll tweet it out, you know, put it on Instagram or something, because I think it's kind of just funny. It's a funny video. It's also kind of dark.
Little bit.
It's kind of creepy. But,
yeah, I mean, it was 10 years old, so, like, computers were different back then.
But it's just, some of the things I've been seeing in these videos and TED Talks is we look at the evolution of humanity over the past 100 years and where it comes from now, and it's crazy to see how far we've come in just the last 20 years. Imagine how far we're going to get in the next 100 years. Like, it is going to be crazy.
Long way.
You know how we talk about things like glasses that lets us see our Google Calendar, right? That's kind of like the future of where technology is going to be. Actually, there is this thing which blows my mind. It is actually an implant that goes into your bloodstream in your brain, which can actually let you use WhatsApp from your brain. If this exists already.
No way. This
and they
exists.
have made $60 million.
What? Okay, give me a name. I need to search this. No shot.
This already exists.
Give me a name.
Dent Road. Stentrode. That's just, it's insane how far we have already come. Yes, we have those crazy robotic dogs, but those are already on the streets. I saw like some cops using them on one of those like random memes on YouTube Shorts. Those are already on the streets. That is how far we are coming. It is insane.
That's got to be expensive, though.
It's not common, but the fact that it's plausible already, I thought that's in the future, and that's now. It is crazy to see how far it's come. Like, look at the computer from that video. That's kind of like the science now, and look at what it can do now. Like, so what do you want to talk? So now that we kind of have a basis on how intense AI is, I think one thing I was
gonna start like with relating it to what we already like use in our everyday life, but yeah.
So the reason I wanted to do this now, like we talked about like some of the ethnic questions of it from this art competition we'll get to later, but it's just kind of crazy some of the questions of AI and is it right, is it wrong, what can it do? I just, like JJ said, like, it's kind of in our everyday life. So I just think it's kind of important to understand it. And I think certain topics we're going to be like, yes, AI should be there. Yes, AI shouldn't be there. Like, apparently there's actually going to be, there's an artificial intelligence made to help battle parking tickets, but it's actually going to be in the court system battling like crazy fraud charges on using fake credit cards in February this year. So we're going to get there later on like whether that's okay or not.
The court system is
because it's a whole other thing.
Very reliant on morals.
It's crazy to see, and I think that's another thing we're going to talk about. But what do you want to talk about first? Because we can talk about the ethnics, but I feel like we should save that for the second half because that's going to be pretty intense.
Right now I have an official like Google, I guess they call it a blog post of everything that they are actively incorporating AI into on their side at the moment, and it's pretty much everything we use, right?
Yeah.
Like,
actually,
think about Apple phones, right?
Yeah.
You know how a lot of them have that feature where I guess Google Pixel also does this too, where it just removes something from a photo and uses AI to fill in that space.
Yeah, like I can like full-on copy a subject from a photo, like me from a ocean selfie, and it's just gonna save me, and it's really good.
Yeah. And you can have it just like remove you too and fill in that space with the background of what would be there. And that is like very cutting edge AI. And the fact that we have it in our pockets right now.
That's what I mean. Like,
kind of
think
shocking.
It's futuristic, but it's now. It's the present.
Yeah.
One thing I saw is how much of the internet is from us. I saw like a random like theory that like in 10, 15 years, 99% of the internet is going to be AI. Think about like
I could definitely see
tweets,
that.
like the fact like I saw with Velma, we're not talking about Velma, but I saw like a lot of like insults with Velma, quote unquote, is that like the jokes are made by chatbot or whatever it's called. Like the fact that AI can already make jokes, I'm not saying they're great and it's gonna evolve, it's gonna escalate very quickly, but the fact that we can make full-on shows, we can make full plot points of movies from AI, like. And we're going to eventually have AI that can make a full movie with a plot, with characters, with songs, all from artificial intelligence. This is the near future.
The generating stuff has become massive with AI. Like I'm sure everybody knows DALL-E, right? The AI that can create an image based on a prompt that you give it.
Yeah.
And obviously DALL-E Mini is the one that people tend to use. That one is a lot more lower end, but it can spit out an image based on stuff it finds around the internet. There's actually DALL-E 2, which is the more professional one, where it creates some like shockingly accurate images. Like I have it pulled up right now. I know, Seth, you can't see it, but like somebody gave a prompt, a centered explosion of rainbow paint, and it literally looks like some professional photographer took a picture of two paintballs hitting each other.
So one thing I saw today is some of these YouTube shorts and stuff on AI is like with these drawings, like they're able to make. I saw it was kind of funny. It was Gordon Ramsay as the Hulk, but it looks like professional. Like it really looks good. Like I know at first, especially look at animation and film industry, faces are hard. Like we look at Fortnite, bring it back to Fortnite as always. We look at some of these new skins in Chapter 4 and we see how many more parts of the face model there are compared to Chapter 1. Faces are hard to do. So to see AI get them so realistic with lighting, I saw some that look like Pixar with like cinematic lighting with like the big eyeballs and the lighting on those.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's like humans did it, but it's not. And it can be mass produced. Thousands of these per second.
I mean, since you brought up Fortnite real quick, obviously they've recently been incorporating AI into the game
sound,
too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some textures have been randomized with AI to make them blend better. Some sounds like music and like campfire sound effects completely randomly generated in a certain pattern. Obviously, I think it's granted, AI is a very broad term because it's almost all just algorithmic.
Algorithmic.
Algorithmically
That word. You guys know what we're talking about. If you're listening to an episode on artificial intelligence, you're going to understand what word that is. I know. Or else you're going to be lost this entire episode.
Generation of numbers and sounds and stuff. So it's not like, hey, this is literally a human being's mind but machine. It's just a lot of numbers running very quickly.
Like we said at the beginning, I don't know, did we say it? But like it can range from these full-on human robots. Like the one video I saw, this guy was actually having conversations with AI. Like it was full conversations, and not to mention it sounded great. It wasn't this really crappy robotic text-to-speech. It was a full AI that sounded human. It was two different ones. One sounded normal. The other ones were like, yeah, we're sick of being pressed down. I'm like, oh, crap. Terminator's here already. So at that point, I'm like, I don't know how real this is, but like in all reality, we look at what artificial intelligence can do, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was real, or at least one of those was real. And it can go from that to Twitter, right? Like figuring out what you like. You know, YouTube and Twitter, like, oh, this person really likes Fortnite, or like gaming in general. It's going to give you random gaming YouTube shorts and videos compared to maybe something
it's just
on
like this
Donald
big
Trump and
hive mind
politics.
trying to figure out what your demographic would like what are you interested in. It kind of ropes in with the whole like Google is using your search results and stuff like that,
cookies,
listening in, so
right?
that cookies. And it's giving you results based on everything you do in your day-to-day life and using all of that data to try and customize life for you, you know?
It's kind of funny to see algorithms in stuff like Twitter, because you can look at the different types. Like we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, and to see the levels of them. Some of them are great. And then I know we've talked about like with YouTube, like you watch one video and oh no, now I have like a dozen of these videos. Normally I go down the rabbit trail anyway. But sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm sick of seeing, what's his name, Andrew Tate on here. Like, I just dislike and just scroll past as quickly. But even then, here's the thing. Now this is another thing we should talk about with AI. I disliked it. That means I don't like it, right? But the artificial intelligence doesn't understand that. All it understands is, I clicked it. That is going to be positive in its brain. So something I've been seeing with artificial intelligence is, you ask it to do something, like go get coffee, right? A human might be like, are you sure it's $13? Do you want me to go across the street? It's cheaper. But a robot's just going to do whatever it takes. It will kill if need be. It is going to do that because we don't think about all these other things that our brain comprehends. It is just simply doing the task at hand. It is not thinking about anything else other than this specific task. It doesn't have emotions, right? It's not thinking, oh, I might hurt. Oh, it's closed. I should go somewhere else. It just wants the coffee. So that is one thing that, like, seeing the levels of the algorithms and trying to understand why it's like that, that's one reason why. Yes, you disliked it, but it's a click. That means you interacted with the video somehow and somewhat. So it's going to recommend you another one because it's
better to not interact with it and not enter that data into the AI than to interact with it in a negative way and
still
have it
interaction.
That data is running through the system and it knows, hey, you interacted with this, so maybe we try again on something slightly different.
Because general AI does not have a positive or negative opinion. It just has my directive. Give content.
Anyways, back to something a little simpler.
This episode's going to be a little complex.
This is going to be a bit all over the place. But in Google searches, right? Obviously, Google is like the big thing right now. and because like Microsoft and whatnot are very interactive with it. And I'm not sure if you knew this, but Microsoft has actually sunk, I think it's something like $5 billion into AI, specifically OpenAI is the biggest AI
so
company
another
right
random
now.
fact is seeing the profit of AI, and I saw from 2021 it was like 2 billion or something. 2022 it was like 200, and it's estimated that in 2023 over $1 trillion in profit. Like, it is crazy the
AI is
advances and
becoming
how much
massive
money
so
people have been
quickly.
spending, and just how much more they spent in the past year or two.
Yeah, OpenAI I think is spearheading that, and obviously
So what
as
exactly
any
is
AI
OpenAI?
company would. It's the company behind DALL-E and the company behind the big
company.
chatbot everyone is using right now. They have different projects, like they're working on a robotic mind that can solve a Rubik's Cube with a robotic hand. They have like music generating AI, searching with images, whatnot, the simpler stuff. But they're basically the biggest company in AI right now. And Microsoft has sunk billions of dollars into them in the past 3 or so years. So
Another thing I saw with Apple is what you know how Apple is at the top of a lot of leaderboards, whether number one or number like they're at the top. One of the only ones they're not at is at advertisement. And I saw a video like they made like $1 billion last year, but if they actually focused on advertisement, they could be making 20 billion. Now here's the thing with advertisements. What's a great way to figure out advertisements? What is it?
I don't know, AI.
Maybe, you know, seeing what you like. If you see like me, I'm a nerd, I'm a weeb, I'm buying gaming equipment, I'm buying anime stuff. It's gonna see that, and my ads are gonna be for anime games. They're not gonna be giving me toasters. I'm not a house. I don't own a house, so I'm not buying that type of equipment, right?
Yeah.
So it's so even in advertisements, that's from the cookies. That's from artificial intelligence gathering the data of what you search, what you like, and what you are constantly going to.
That is true. That is true. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Google searches.
We're gonna be all over the place, people.
Yeah. In the past few years, people have been seeing and using more often not only the Google image search with like the Google Lens thing, where you take a picture of an object or a clothing item and it'll immediately find that somewhere else on the internet. And then there's also the music search where, you know, you ask your Google Assistant, hey, what is this song? And then you hum or sing a small portion of it, and it'll match that song using its algorithm to an already existing song on YouTube or Google Music or whatnot.
Yeah. So what exactly, like, yeah, like it's everywhere. It's and like I said, it is a lot more intense than people think, right? Like artificial intelligence doesn't necessarily have to be these crazy full-on robots that can do stuff, but even then, those exist. Like, they're becoming more, like, at first, I don't know if you remember when Boston Dynamics first came into the internet, it was a pretty big deal, these robots being able to jump up on a ledge and jump back down, like, but like, they fully are realistic, they're able to have human speech, and even those, you can push them, like, I saw this one joke video by Corridor Digital, I forget what their main channel is, and it was a joke on Boston Dynamics, and like, they keep beating them with brooms and stuff, seeing what they do. But like, if that actually happened, it would still stay up. We see these dogs that can fully be on their side and get back up. Like, these are advanced AI to figure out what they're supposed to do. But the thing is, they only have that one task, get up. That is their only task, that is their only directive. So that is the big thing with where AI goes, is how much more instructions you're gonna have to give it. Right now we give it one instruction, this. Give a good joke. Draw a picture. But here's the question with the pictures. Did we get into the rules of it? Can it have blood? Can it have nudity, right? These aren't the rules that are automatically set. We have to do that. Now, as humans, we're like, oh, obviously, yeah, it has to be PG, right? Censored, no violence. But the AI doesn't automatically have that. So that's the next level where AI needs to go if we want human-like artificial intelligence. We need to have...
It needs to start figuring out beforehand what the parameters of what you're asking are on its own without us having to
incorporate
tell it
all of that. Yeah. Any other general topics?
I mean,
I don't know what kind of
not that
stuff
I
you
can
had
think
pulled
of.
up.
I mean, obviously,
Already blown your
the closest
mind.
thing we have to everyone's picture of AI right now is like the Google Assistant, Amazon Assistant, stuff like that. Like the home robot voices and whatnot. Like those are the closest thing we have to everyone's like stereotypical picture of an AI, right? Something that's going to talk back to you, something that is going to serve you in some way or another, right? And it's going to be able to determine to its best ability what the optimal option is.
Yeah. Definitely can see that maybe with automatically doing stuff like shopping lists and stuff, right? Like you constantly talk to it like, add this to my shopping list. Well, then it automatically has some built-in stuff. Listen to I'm trying to think, because I don't use my Google enough because I'm always too lazy to set it up because it is so much stuff to have to set up. 'Cause the other thing is, I think it's really optimized when it's a linked circuit. So when everything's Amazon, when everything's Google, like I need Google smart plugs and I can optimize my room a lot more to automatically turn my TV on. Without that, it's very limited. So I don't use it much. Do you guys have anything like that, like an Amazon or?
Nah, my parents are creeped out by it. They don't want to get one.
You know what though? That's valid because the amount of stories I've heard of like talking about, I forget at church somebody was talking about like, oh yeah, I was talking about getting a new outdoor patio set, and then I see a Amazon listing advertisement for a patio set. Like they're listening, but at this point, like,
Oh yeah.
what are you gonna do? Your phone's listening. The government has all your information. Might as well just go all for it, right?
That's true. I mean, there was a legal case a couple years back, actually, with Amazon's assistant. Apparently, it had recorded somebody's conversations, like actually recorded and archived them. And if I'm remembering correctly, I didn't look into this because I didn't think of it till now, but if I'm remembering correctly, it had actually been able to prove that the man had been abusing his wife because it recorded these conversations and they were able to use that in the court case.
But okay, so with the radio, I have to end. I'm just gonna end it now. I think what we can do is when we come back, well, we can talk about a few random things, but when we come back, I feel like ethnics right there, should that be allowed? Because that's without. So I watch. Have you ever heard of Law by Mike? It's a random YouTuber. He does a lot of law videos, like this random law case of somebody suing McDonald's and this and that. But it also talks about like some privacy. Are we allowed to do that? Because there's multiple cases of like privacy acts. Sometimes it's allowed where you need both parties' permission. Sometimes you can record privately. So it all depends on where that case was. But is that ethnically okay without the other person's consent? Even the person that's getting abused, they didn't have consent to record. I can almost guarantee it. So where does that go in terms of ethics? Where does that go in terms of law? One thing that I think this whole conversation started off is, I don't know if you want to quickly explain this because I don't remember the full thing. It was the festival that you were talking about.
Yeah, there was I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was some sort of celebration, some sort of fair, and there was an art competition, and people were able to enter their made art in and win a prize, right? And somebody decided that they were going to enter an AI-generated art piece, and it blew the competition away. They won first prize, no problem, like it wasn't even comparable. And there was a huge argument over whether or not this should be allowed, because on one hand, no, he didn't make the art himself. It took practically no skill to do. But on the other hand,
it's a medium, right? Like a paintbrush.
It is.
And there's no rules. He didn't cheat. He didn't break the rules.
Yeah.
It just wasn't stated because AI, like I said, we think AI is the future. We think AI is like our classic, like back in the day in the 80s with flying cars, right? That's where an AI is going to be a thing. Terminator future. It's now. I don't think people realize how advanced our society is. It's just in a lab. It exists. Yes, it's not in commonplace. Especially in the middle class, right? The higher class, the billionaires, they have this stuff. They're investing billions into it. The middle class doesn't have it so much. We have our Google Assistant and we have our social media, but it's there and it's very much prevalent. Like we look at our cars, we look at our music, we look at our jobs coming up. Like think about how much our computers are doing. That's artificial intelligence, like in our everyday job, right? Like it is here and it is now. But what should be there? Like, what kind of jobs are okay, right? Like, robot / artificial intelligence, sure, it can give a precise surgery, but like, do we trust it? Like, yes, it can be foolproof, but it also couldn't because, like I said earlier, it doesn't have the full directive. Sure, it's going to cut out the tumor, but it might think the best way to cut off the tumor is cut off the whole arm. So we're going to end it now, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back, I think. Is it recording? Sure, it's recording. Guys, I'm still rusty. It's okay. It might break. JJ might just have to record the last 30 minutes.
Yep. Of course, yeah, totally.
Okay.
You're a professional at this. You know what you're doing.
I am a professional. You guys should see the setup, with my 5 monitors.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Mac.
It's in the middle of the Windows. I don't understand. Anyway, we're going from question to computers to back to question. Let's go back to the topic, because it's going to be a smooth transition. We're going to talk about ethics, I think, in the second half. I think that's a really important question that we need to talk about. The ramifications of using these in certain positions, whether it be a lawyer, whether it be an artist.
I think the most well-known problem with Wow, rude. Thank you. Appreciate the preemptiveness there.
Look, it's serious and important. I gotta add some comedy in here.
No, just your face is comedy.
But it's a podcast. That's for the YouTube videos. Stupid.
Wow. Okay, fine, whatever.
Idiot.
Be that way then.
That's Spy X Family meme I sent you about spending time with your family. It's an idiot.
Sigh. Anyways. The most thought about issue with AI ethics right now, I think, is obviously once we do have like fully functioning AI, what about jobs? Where are people gonna go, right? Like once we have robots working for us, how are people gonna earn a living? Like, how is that gonna work?
See, I know that's one thing I've heard, and the first thing that I think of is other jobs. Like, if people can't be working at McDonald's, maybe that would drive them to get a better education, even if it's online in computer programming, and they can make artificial intelligence to advance go be a doctor and try to find a cure for cancer.
But if people can't get their first job at McDonald's to make the revenue they need to go to college to get a better job.
No, but then then we also don't have to spend money on these jobs, right? Because we don't have to pay them. So that means there's more money to pay for college, right? College would be cheaper.
Maybe in an ideal world, but we have
in an ideal world, right?
We have a complicated structure.
This is all ideal. This is all ideal. None of this would actually happen because that means it benefit people. That's not how the world works.
Nah, of course not.
No, like I said, that's where my brain first thinks. It's like, well, there's other things we can do, right? We can fill these useless jobs like in factories, right? That'd be a perfect place. Fill that with AI. I'm all for that because half the time those factory workers are getting mistreated. Right, like they're getting overworked, they're getting underpaid. Fill it with AI. Get those people out of there into better places. But here's the other thing. Sure, we're going to fill these weaker jobs, but that also means all those people ideally would go try to find a cure for cancer. Ideally, they would go try to stop world hunger. But let's think about what they're actually going to do. They're going to go home and play video games, right? They're going to go home and watch TV. Right? Like that's one of the questions. It's like, cool. Not only are there going to be less jobs, if the world gets to... Okay, here's a perfect example. WALL-E. Right? Like, everything was automated, and look how obese the world got. They couldn't even walk without flying chairs. Right? Because everything was done for them.
The world literally became a trash heap because they didn't work for anything.
So, ideally, AI would be great, but there are so much more ramifications that we don't think of. Nor does the AI think of. These are not the types of things, right? One thing that is constantly, like I was saying earlier, that they're constantly thinking about is they just have their directive. They're not thinking about what they're doing to stop trash, right? Maybe the AI thinks, let's burn all the trash, right? That's going to get rid of it. It's going to disappear. It's just going to be ash. But they're not thinking the ramifications that's going to have to the ozone layer, then oxygen, and then less life on Earth because they're, right, like the sun radiation. They're not thinking about the ramifications as humans do. They're set for that one job, and they're going to complete that one job. That is it. And that's going to cause so many problems. Sure, like the lawyer I said might get you out, but here's the other thing that's going to do, just like social media, just like anything in the current day. Is that going to help somebody that's innocent? Sure. If AI gets too advanced, is it also going to help the guilty get free? Probably. Everything's a double-sided edge in this world of the digital era.
A double-sided edge?
Double-sided edge.
What's a double-sided edge, Zach?
It's a fancy sword on a line sword, probably.
A double-sided edge?
Look, it's tired. Okay, I had a long day.
It's like double-sided sword or two-edged blade. Like what?
Same thing.
Double-sided edge?
I got my point across. It's double-sided.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
What about a double-sided point?
No.
Is that better?
My brain.
This is where JJ...
You need a nap, my friend. You need a nap.
This is where JJ wishes AI could do the show with him instead of me. Also, I'm not getting a nap. I am going to be up for the next, 5 hours. We have so much for the rest of the night. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
We're not mentally sane. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
So now that we kind of talked about that, do we want to go into that topic of the art competition a little bit more?
Yeah, so here, let me Google it real quick. I'm not sure if things actually got settled with that. I can check real quick and see.
Supreme Court. I kind of say that as a joke, but actually, this is the type of stuff that probably has the possibility of getting to the Supreme Court. Because sure, that was a small time fair. It was around us. It's really small, probably a few hundred people. It isn't Costco or something doing this, this big global corporation. But if this is only gonna skyrocket. AI art, that one video I saw with the one guy talking to AI, throughout the entire video, it was just filled with artificial intelligence drawings. It's gonna become more and more prevalent. And the question is, I guess this also drives the question of what is art? Because I know that's a general question that we've been asking for a long time with some of these really weird modern pieces. I just took a paintbrush and splashed some paint on a canvas and it's worth millions of dollars. So what is art? And this kind of drives that question again. One thing that I thought of when JJ first told me this is well, did he make it? If he made the AI to draw this, I'd say be all for it, right? He put the effort in. He was very intelligent. He showed energy and passion. But if my man just put a word into something on Google and got an image from that, that's pretty much what's happening here. Did he work for it? He's using a canvas just like a paintbrush. It's not against the rules.
The only effort he really put in is coming up with a good prompt, right? Coming up with a good picture in his head and then trying to describe that to the AI. And obviously he didn't create it, but there's still a creative aspect to what he did. And then you have to ask the question, what is art, right?
And putting hours and hours and hours, adding, I got a new profile picture and the guy was sending me progress reports. And first it's outlining, then it's going to be editing, then you're going to add base colors, and then you're going to add outlining colors. There's so many levels. There's passion. There's effort. But is thinking enough effort to make that your own art?
But a point I brought up before, right? There are art pieces that are literally broken water fountains or shards of a broken cup or something like that. That doesn't have effort put into it, but that is considered art.
Offers question of what is art. This is more than just AI. This is just general human nature. What is it? What do we think of as beauty? What do we think of as art? What is intelligence and what isn't? Some of these people are saying this splash of paint is purely brilliant and imaginative. Guys, I could do that right now.
Yeah.
It does
if
not
somebody
take
dumping
effort.
a paint bucket on a canvas had just as much chance as winning as somebody who put an 8-hour paintbrush session towards, then why shouldn't the AI be able to win as well? I gave it a prompt. I had some sort of creative inspiration. So why wouldn't I be able to enter this in,
But and that's kind of where we're coming from, but then it just feels different. It just feels wrong. Generally, it's a canvas that you gave a prompt, but is it fair? And obviously this is just art, but there's so many other cases where humans are doing it, but the AI can just do it so much better. It can do it faster, right? We look at computers, sure, some guys can do some crazy calculus, might use with a piece of paper and do some fast math, computer can do it in a nanosecond. Look at how fast a Rubik's, like, I've seen them where the Rubik's Cubes can be solved in 0.01 seconds.
I mean,
Humans
when
can do that
does it
too.
get to the point where we stop teaching people how to do these simple equations and just give them a calculator, say, here, let the computer do it?
And like I said, like, sure, now we can think and like evolve our education, because then what we can do is, so one thing that I did was in my sophomore or junior year of high school, I took Intro to Python, and I showed JJ I made tic-tac-toe with Python. It was a full thing with inputs to put the different parts instead of just X's and O's. I've made a calculator before in that class, right? And I feel like, so think about a long time ago when education wasn't really a thing. Being able to read and write wasn't common at all, right? That was only for the wealthy. Now everyone can read or write, quote unquote, right? But that's like, that's supposed to be like the standard. I think the standard in the next few years is gonna be, instead of trying to do all this writing and stuff, it might be code, it might be math. Because at this point, that's where the future is going. That's where that can get you so many successful jobs easily for how demanding it is. Like, look at where, I forget which one, I think it was Tim Sweeney or Sheldon Muster, one of them, their parent was part of like the military, and they had the early computers, and because of that, they were able to start building games early on. Because it was so demanding, that was such a small amount of people that were doing that. Obviously, it's more now, but think about if people are putting 1 billion to then 30 billion the next year, think about the jobs that are going to happen in the next year or two. We're going to be going from 1% of jobs being on programming to 5% to 30% of all American jobs being working on artificial intelligence.
I mean, there are so many different types of coding and programming that, like, no matter what you learn, if you learn some sort of like computer programming, you're going to have value to all of these big corporations in some way.
Whether it's banking and working with numbers, whether it's making a game with a UI, you're going to be able to fit in somewhere so easily, especially now and in the coming years. Like we've brought up these few facts of just how much effort and research has gone into AI in just the past 2 years. It is. AI is taking over the world, JJ. Terminator's already here in
Skynet,
Fortnite. Wait,
everybody, let's go.
Whoa. We're screwed.
Yep. A little bit.
So this is where we're coming from, but then that begs the question, like, should that be? Like the dynamic of human nature and society has been the same for so long, right? Like, you get your 9-to-5 job when you're in high school, right? Working at McDonald's, working at retail. But if all that's going to be taken over by AI, like, I know I've seen this already, like at McDonald's, they have computers that you can check out at, right? Like, how much longer? Like, I've seen robots that are literally putting meals together. How much longer until there's a fully automated McDonald's? Have you seen the Amazon food stores?
I have, yeah.
Like, so the people that don't know, I'm pretty sure it's more out west, right? It's more in the west. There are stores which you walk through, like one of the spinny wheels that you do at a sports game. You clock in with your Amazon app, and it will automatically add items with the hundreds of cameras around. It will automatically add items to your cart, and when you leave, it just checks out. There's no human interaction at all.
Yeah,
That's now.
Have you seen the Taco Bells?
No, I haven't been. I don't like Taco Bell.
This one's only in specific places. I think there's one in California and I think New York somewhere. But Taco Bell's built these like massive. Basically, it's just a drive-through. It's like, you know, when you drive up to the bank and you can go through the drive-through and it has like that tube where they shoot the checks and whatnot down. It's kind of like that. You go up and you use the screen to order, and then your food comes down on a tray, just like that. And I think it's actually been proved now that it is the fastest drive-through ever. Like, that is the fastest and most efficient way to order and get your food to you without causing like a huge line, you know?
So because of that, obviously that's where we're going, right? It's efficient, and that's what humanity wants, but is that the best? Another fact I've been seeing with society and money, this is going to get a little depressing, but I feel like this is an important fact. Success. Look at America and see how successful it is versus a country in Africa. Let's look to South Korea, right? It used to be very poor, you know, with very corrupt rulers, and look at how successful it is now. You might think, oh, people are happy now, they're successful. No. The suicide rates are so much higher in these main, what is it, third world? No, first world societies. The suicide rate is higher in America, where you have freedom, quote unquote freedom. You know, you have economic, like capitalist society, which is supposed to help people, versus somewhere like Africa, where they struggle to make their weekly meals to eat daily. So is it okay for it to be that efficient? Like that might not be as beneficial as we first think. And just like cigarettes, right? Cigarettes at first, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's gonna cure your cough. It's gonna make you feel great. Well, now it's depression on a stick, right? That's what all the ads I've been seeing. Well, that's after years of study. E-cigarettes, there's quote unquote better, but that's just because we don't have the 20, 30 years of research. So with this AI now, we don't have 20, 30 years of research on a whole country run like that. What is that going to do for us? And this is where we're driving that ethnic question of, sure, we're going to be efficient. Sure, we might be able to put people at better jobs. But how is that going to affect us as a whole, as a humanity?
Well, Steve, I think it's not going to end great for us today.
I have to agree with you, Alex.
Alex? Who's Alex?
Steve and Alex, Minecraft. Come on, man.
Oh. I should have seen that. I should have seen that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going like, Family Feud, Steve.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of why yeah. My bad.
But technology, Minecraft. Okay,
yeah,
actually, speaking of Minecraft, here's another AI that I thought of. Have you heard of the baritone bot?
I don't think so.
So this is back, obviously 2B2T isn't as big of a deal as it is, as it used to be in years past. There is an AI bot, so you know 2B2T, right? It's chaotic, it's an anarchy server, there's no rules. So that means the spawn is very chaotic. There is lava pyramids and everything, they're down to bedrock, it's very hard to traverse. These bots, you can set them a target and they will go in a straight line. They can bounce, and they can do parkour, and they can do combat, all with a program. A AI can fully get you from 0 to 30 million negative, 29 million positive. Completely getting there with you getting food, with you eating hunger at optimal points, without slowing down. Like, even in our games, it is getting advanced and overtaking human gameplay. Like, if I'm trying to win a tournament, obviously this is cheating, but this is like the ethics of where everything's going. If I want to win a tournament, why don't I just put an AI like that on for easy PvP? Why not? Now, that's cheating, but don't we do that with real life? I saw a joke with, JJ, if I'm a bodybuilder and I use steroids, what would you say to that?
I'd say that's not fair.
Okay. If I was, I forget the other examples, but the main punch of the joke, then why do women wear makeup on a beauty contest?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know about that one.
So, we look at these, same things. This is, AI in video games, that's cheating, but AI in real life, that's fine. Makeup and using these extra things in a beauty contest, that's fine. But with these other points, it's not. So where do we draw that line? When is it going to be cheating in real life?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, to your point about the Minecraft thing, we've been seeing just simple people even creating these programs that can do so many things that an average person would be able to, right? Heck, even back to Fortnite again, the bots that they put in lobbies, right? We've seen over the years, these are getting more and more advanced. Yeah.
Not to mention, I forget, obviously you weren't in chapter 1, but I'm pretty sure they were in chapter 1, not actually, but in the files, and they were able to build full skyscrapers. Think about back in chapter 1 before these were set in the rules. Here's another thing, with the AI. That's new because that's not in the rules yet. That hasn't been discussed. With video games, it's a little different with hacks and stuff. But macros or things a set of commands that can be done through your computer with one button press. That's a big thing that happened with early Fortnite. You don't have to have $1 billion corporation and do a macro, but that's still coding. That's still AI.
Mm-hmm.
That's still doing some pretty advanced stuff to say, do double movement, be able to run and build or something like that. Like, you couldn't do that at first. Like, turbo build in Fortnite, for the people that know. When you hold it, you can pretty much hold it down. Like, it instantly presses. Before, you had to press a second time. A lot of people are talking, like, in Fortnite, like, is that a good thing? Should it be what it is? Here's the thing. People are doing that already with auto clickers and stuff. It's gonna happen eventually. So all these other jobs, we're asking the question, should it? Here's the final question. This is a fact. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. With all of these different jobs taking over by AI, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, how fast are we going to advance? How fast are we going to let it advance? And what point do we draw the line and say, okay, we need to slow down because this is going to kill our society?
But at what point does drawing the line not matter, because it's going to be self-sufficient at that point?
That's true.
Are we going to be able to stop it?
When
Terminator.
does the AI say, no, we don't want to stop making AI. We need to make ourselves bigger and better?
Like, it is... It's kind of crazy. Like obviously, like, AI has helped us so much. I couldn't imagine where we would be right now without computers and artificial intelligence. Like, it would be rough. It would be a rough place. But also, like, think about the stuff that it's screwed over as well.
That's true.
Right? Like, some of these crazy corporations, I think it was like Shell, the gas station. Oh, cool. Cheap the gas or something. It's also dumping lots of waste into the Africa, right? Like, it is,
I would not
like,
be surprised.
taking these people. So, like, oh, cool, AI. But what's it doing on the back end? Who did it have to hurt to get that?
Yeah. These are the important questions, everybody. Got to keep your eyes open for your dollies. What's Dolly doing in the background? Whose images is
Hello,
it stealing?
Dolly.
No.
Dolly Parton?
No.
Look, we're getting too serious. We gotta find some jokes in here. We're pretty much just predicted the end of the world.
Come on,
we
tell
pretty
me a
much
joke.
I just did Dolly Parton.
That's not good enough. Come on, give me another one. Give me a joke.
Hold up, let me pull up chatbot.
Oh gosh.
I'm not going to. But, like, this is a serious question. Like, some of these episodes, like, IPs, it's kind of funny and just fun to talk, or Fortnite, right? Like, console wars, you know? What's better? What do we think? What do you think the future is? But, like, we're going to be doing some of these episodes in our series where it's going to be a little bit more serious, because when it comes to the world of media, this is the future. There is no going around the bush. This is the future. And I feel like we need to state what we want it to do. Whether that's going to matter or not, because like I said, like, eventually it's going to be self-sufficient. It's going to grow it by itself. We're not going to be able to simply hit stop. You know, think about the stuff that you put on the internet. Does it ever go away? Is it ever gone? If we hit stop on the AI, is it going to stop? Is it, like, Sword Art Online? Okay, we're going to bring it to anime. In the season 4, the whole work was season 3 and 4 is to make artificial intelligence. It's a whole other thing. I don't know how realistic, like, the top-down versus bottom-up types of AI are. But pretty much what happened was it had to copy someone's soul and memories, right? But then it copied someone else. Like, it's copying itself. So at what point will the AI be like, we're going to be deleted. Let me copy myself to another server. Or with how AI is advancing, where does the corruption go with humanity, and when is a human going to copy it before it gets deleted and having its own servers? This is, like, serious stuff. This is serious stuff. This is like pretty intense. Not just crazy intense, just pretty intense.
I'm asking chatbot to tell me a joke about a podcast.
Oh boy. It's going to pull up Nerd Rant, and I'm going to cry.
I don't think it knows enough about us.
That's good. For now.
I don't
maybe.
think this makes much sense, but why did the podcast go to the doctor?
Why?
Because it was feeling a little bit lo-fi.
All right. Thank you all for watching.
Oh, the sad and funny part is I put lo-fi music in the background of our podcast, so it kind of works.
What's up?
I said I put lo-fi music in the background of the podcast, so it kind of works.
So wait, JJ, I thought you said it didn't know enough about us. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
goodness!
I say that as a joke, but like in all reality,
Hey,
let's get another one.
tell me a joke about a guy with glasses.
If it has colored hair, I'm legitimately ending the podcast and I'm leaving this building right now. I am scared.
This one doesn't make sense. Why did the guy with glasses wear glasses?
What?
So he could see the future.
I'm trying to see the future. Well, think about it. In order to wear glasses, you have to... It's going to take time for that process to get to your brain to really comprehend what you're doing. So you are seeing the future, whether it be 0.00001 seconds in the future, it's still the future.
I don't think that's the thought process of the AI,
I know that's not the
sir.
thought process, but like, this is where I overthink things. That's pretty much my entire life. But it's okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. Maybe that gives us a little hope that AI isn't as advanced, but then, we do actually have AI that can, like... I saw a tweet about Elon Musk. We're worried about the Terminator, right? Like, AI coming to life and killing us all, right?
I mean,
Terminator's not real.
I just asked it if it's smart, and it gave a very good answer. Like,
all right, let me give my example first, and then you can explain why AI is smart according to AI. So I saw Elon Musk. Right now, all you have to do, so you know how a lot of phones have face recognition?
yeah,
Take that chip, put it into a drone, and put an explosive. Boom, storm a building. It's an assassination device. That's plausible now with our technology.
I mean, as scary as it is, facial recognition is something we've had for a little while now, and it would not be hard to put it on something like that.
Is this gonna be what was the movie? Captain America, Winter Soldier? With the AI that can detect evil and then neutralize it? Well, I guess those detect Hydra. No. You don't remember the huge 3 Tricarriers that had intelligence that was going to annihilate any threat against Hydra? And instantly annihilate it? Are you legitimately
Clearly,
not...
I need to watch the Captain America movies again, because
either
you're explaining this in such a bad way that I don't get it.
You don't remember that the entire thing with Armin Zola, which made an artificial intelligence to detect threats against Hydra, whether it be a child or whether it be Nick Fury, and then it was going to annihilate the entire, 5 billion people?
Yeah.
You don't remember this? Yeah, no, that's completely on you.
I
That
don't
is
know,
completely
you might
on
be
you.
delusional.
No, that is, I can guarantee. How about you tell that, and then I'm going to talk, and then you're going to look up the plot of Winter Soldier.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, AI thinks it's smart, and I literally asked, "Are you smart?" And this was its response. It said, "I am a highly advanced language model trained on a vast amount of text data, so I can provide information and generate text on a wide variety of topics. However, I am not a conscious being and therefore cannot possess intelligence in the same way that a human does."
We're all screwed. Okay, now look up the Captain America, Winter Soldier, and plot point. Because I can guarantee that I am right. That is the point of the movie. Unless that is a random Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. plot point. But I am 99.99999% sure that is Captain America, Winter Soldier. AI to kill threats against... Because that was the whole thing with Captain America being cautious against Nick Fury. Because he had this to general threats. And, is that okay? Is that, fine?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not Winter Soldier.
Are you sure? The one with the whole Tricarriers? Because that was Winter Soldier.
It's apparently not Winter Soldier, because doesn't have anything to do with the plot here.
Hold up.
Oh gosh. It's definitely not what I'm reading. I don't know.
Well, I know I'm right.
I don't know if
I think when you
right.
remember, you're gonna feel so stupid.
Yeah. Because
The
Winter
helicarrier,
Soldier
not
was
tricarrier.
the whole brainwashing thing.
Yeah, and Hydra
But
and Shield.
that's... Yeah, you're just listing things in Marvel. What about it?
That was the whole point of the movie.
Brainwashing?
No, Hydra and Shield.
It's a Captain America movie. Of course it's about Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, it's not. Hydra wasn't in Shield in first Captain America, the first Avenger. Shield wasn't invented till after the war.
I'm gonna slap you. What are you on about?
What are you on about? JJ, we had a whole
This has
episode
nothing
about
to do with
this.
AI. This is brainwashing.
I'm not talking about the brainwashing. I'm talking about the AI at the end. You legitimately don't remember the helicarrier?
The only AI in Marvel is Ultra. And I guess Jarvis.
No. Oh my gosh, you're gonna feel so stupid.
No, there's no AI.
You are.
There's no AI. Anyways, we gotta end the show. So,
We'll talk about this in our next episode. It's gonna be
Yeah.
about Fortnite, but we're gonna talk about this. JJ, you go. Do you have
definitely.
you have Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Go
I'll-
watch the last 15 minutes while I
Yeah.
ride my bike home of the movie, and you're
Yep.
gonna feel like a stupid moron.
I'm sure.
You know what? This is a great way to add some comedic effect and also showing that I am right. Because Timothy, you're probably gonna listen to this recorded episode. Please tell JJ he's a moron in his next stream, because you know what I'm talking about.
Oh gosh. I
JJ,
can't
you're gonna
even.
feel so stupid.
And
This is the
you're
plot.
going to be so stupid. Anyways, thank you all for listening to
No,
this
AI
episode
is
of
gonna be
Nerd
smart.
Rant. We appreciate you all tuning in.
And
follow
make sure
the
you
podcast
follow-
on Spotify. Follow us on our
Hit that
social
bell
medias
button.
as well.
If you're on mobile, follow it at Nerd Rant Podcast at Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
Twitter, we don't have enough of a professional presence, so I don't really care at this point.
Follow the
Instagram's where you go.
Yep.
Instagram's where you go. But follow the Twitter when we start actually posting there. Because I
Yep.
think maybe one day if we get big enough, we can at people on Twitter and they can do a show with us.
That'll be fun.
Bro, imagine we had like Donna Muster on the podcast talking about Fortnite lore. T-minus 200 years till that happens. Anyway, peace out.
Goodbye.